Hey, what's going on, guys? Garden Shed here, and welcome to sunny Swindon. So, today I've got something to show you. I've got a new bike. You ready? You ready? Ta-da! Yeah, I've gone and bought another V-Strom. 2024 V-Strom 650, and add-on wise, it's pretty much the same as the last one. I didn't have a chance to do a test run with the camera. Well, I did, but having not made a video in such a long time, I went to go test the camera angle when I went to go and collect this, and I forgot to put a memory card in my drift. So that was a bit dumb. So yeah, V-Strom 650. Why? Well, I never really got on with my Tiger. Didn't get on with it at all. We went to the Isle of Man. I say we, Hannah and I. She came pillion. We were going to Heysham to get the ferry. Then we got a puncture, massive split pin went through the tyre. Plugs and bunk it wasn't working because it tore the tyre rather than just punctured it, which was recovery and new tyre job. So we missed the ferry. Eventually we got there. It was shocking weather. We got there about 11:30, I think, and in gale force winds went over the mountain stage in the pitch black, which Hannah was not a fan of. Then the next day we had gale force winds, rain and fog. The day after that we were off the bike, having a on foot day, which was the only nice day typically. And then on the way home the following day, because the gale force winds, the ferry was delayed. We didn't know if it was delayed or cancelled when we set off to get the ferry, but in the end they just delayed it by a few hours. As far as biking holidays goes, it was not a good...
Anyway, I digress. So the majority of the time I was riding the Tiger, I've missed the V-Strom. I loved the V-Strom, and I like the engine braking, I like the way it's geared, I love the engine. And that trip kind of did it for me. I kind of thought, well, we've done a couple of trips on the Tiger, and I never really end up with very many photos, you know. They always say if you walk away from your bike and you don't look back, then you've bought the wrong bike. Well, I definitely bought the wrong bike. The reason why I'm now in Wiltshire is because I picked this up last weekend. It's currently October the 4th? Can't remember. I want to get it running before the gritter trucks come. So I thought, well, my dad's always pestering to go visit him in Cornwall. He keeps going, oh, come for a weekend. But it's a really long journey to go for a night. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to run my bike in over a weekend. It's 270 miles each way, which by the time I get home will give me about 30 miles to take this to go get its service. I only decided I was going to come here yesterday, so I need to actually book the service in. Yeah, so far it's been a stunning route. Left Leicestershire, went down to Daventry. Sorry, across to Daventry, through all the Cotswolds, Chipping Norton, Burford, across to Swindon. Then we're skirting the outskirts of Bath, then going to Taunton, Tiverton. I left at 7 o'clock this morning when it was freezing cold. It was about 5 degrees, and it's currently, according to this, 17. So far it's basically been roads like this the entire way, which has been absolutely brilliant. Really enjoyed it so far. It's amazing the difference an hour on a Saturday makes. I had no traffic the whole way down. The other thing I've noticed coming up to this village is how many villages nowadays are either 20 or have an advisory 20 speed limit. Still getting used to the engine braking. The Triumph had none and this has a lot. Although I swear it doesn't quite have as much as my previous V-Strom. I don't know if they did some fettling and stuff like that between Euro 4 and Euro 5. I mean, my biggest concern with it was the fact that it'd be too heavy for my leg, but actually it feels a lot lighter than my Tiger. Same day as Ride to the Wall, so it'll be interesting to see if I see any people going to Ride to the Wall. I think I'm a bit far south for that now. As many people realise, I never really got on with the Tiger, and it's why you never really saw much of it on the channel. I found it a bit bland. I prefer, you know, feeling an engine. The engine was a bit smooth for my liking. I know that sounds like a really weird thing. I quite like to know I'm on a bike. I like to feel the engine a little bit, and I know people, I just like a twin and a single. I like the engine braking, and I really missed the engine of the V-Strom. So yeah, I mean, naturally, when it came to changing bike, it was like, right, V-Strom. I test rode, you know, a few different bikes. I've tried the new Royal Enfield, and well, let's put it this way, it wasn't even worth me trying to record a first ride on it. I was really tempted, you know, go down to One Bikes. We're currently in the process of buying a house, so at the moment, buying a motorbike is a really bad idea. I thought, oh, okay, well, ahead of moving house, the Triumph is costing me a fortune, you know. It had the 12k service, that was £1,000. I had a new shock in it, that was 950 quid. The Tiger cost me about £2.5 grand in a year to keep on the road. And I was like, I'm not spending £2.5 grand on a bike to keep it on the road. I mean, that's just obscene. Oh, and I need new brake pads and what have you. Besides the fact that I never really enjoyed it, so that kind of we weren't on very good terms, me and the Tiger. The primary thing for me of getting the Tiger was it was a better bike, and a little bit of extra power was better for taking a pillion. Hannah never really came on it. She went on it maybe 4 or 5 times. She went on the V-Strom more. You know, I was keeping that bike as something that, you know, we could go and do things together. But that amount of money was insane. You know, because I say we're in the process of buying the house, and I realised the Tiger was costing me a fortune. The plan all along was to go down to one bike. I thought, okay, well, what do I want? I want something that's a twin. I want something or a single. It's fun to ride. The logical answer, if I'm combining 2 bikes, and I adore my Himalayan, is try the new Himalayan. So I went and tried it, and I rode it for about 10 minutes, and that was enough for me. It had none of the Himalayan, the 411, the 450 has none of the 411's charm. The 411 just makes you smile. It's a simple bike, and they've just refined it. Don't get me wrong, it's a good bike, but the other thing for me is the side stand was so short. The bike leant over a ridiculous amount, and it's, you know, common feedback of, say, this bike leans over far too much, it's really heavy on the side stand, and loads of people are saying it. Even Royal Enfield admit that they made the side stand too short. Well, I struggled to get it off the side stand with my leg, and I had a look around and other bits and bobs. Anyway, I thought, oh, I'll have a look at V-Stroms, and I was on Auto Trader, and sort of having a look around and getting a price, looking at used ones, because I thought, oh, I don't really want to buy new. These are about 8 grand, or meant to be. Now, I don't know if Suzuki was trying to meet sales volumes or whatever for this, and I was looking at used ones, like I say, and there were a couple of low mileage ones, a few extras, and I was like, great. And then I saw this, with a bit of haggling and stuff like that. This was cheaper than a lot of the used ones. Not pre-owned. I'm the first registered keeper. I'm the only registered keeper. So yeah, I paid less for this than I paid for my V-Strom my first V-Strom in 2017. Considering what bike prices did over COVID, I'd say that's a hell of an achievement. So far, really chuffed with this. I mean, I've only done 170 miles, and 120 of that's been today. After the Tiger, I had to get a bike that I know I would adore, because I couldn't afford to change again, because obviously, as I say, we're moving house. But yeah, I mean, I've still got the Himalayan. Life is actually going pretty well at the moment, so that's good. And I'm in a good place, and sort of mentally and stuff like that. And the last time I came to Devizes was when I rode my Himi, and I went and did that off-road course. Wiltshire must love their Himalayans. I'm not joking, that is the 6th Himalayan I think I've seen in half an hour. I've not had the camera on much at all, because the last hour the traffic has been completely atrocious. Certainly better than what we have been on the last hour or so. I think it just must be that Trowbridge Bath area. The whole way from Slough's been a bit of a pig, to be honest. Sorry, we're just leaving Shepton Mallet. I've literally pulled over for a bite to eat because I was starving Must admit, slightly missing the Triumph's comfort seat. Mind you, I am... Well, what time did I leave the house? 7 AM is now 2 o'clock. So, yeah, I'm... Well, what, 7 hours in. So who can blame me if I'm missing a comfort seat now? My knees are alright though. Knees are alright, shoulders are alright. Arse is fine, it was just nice to get off the bike for a little bit.